We're live here on the shot clock. Game sevens galore, so to speak. We're going to preview both game sevens here real quick for you. Warriors, Rockets, and of course Clippers, Nuggets this evening, which will be at 7:30 tonight. Look, let's start with Clippers, Nuggets since it's the first one. Now, this has been the exact series I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be a toss-up. I actually picked the Clippers to win the series, just being upfront and honest. I kind of think now, I thought the Clippers would win in 6. I'm leaning towards Denver now tonight if I was going to choose in a one-game scenario. The home court, I think, is going to be a major factor for Denver. They have a great home court, obviously, and they also have the experience, of winning a championship, and they've owned the Clippers in the past as well. And I think you come down to tonight, and it's like who has the best player on the floor, and 9 out of 10 times that's going to be Nikola Jokic. Now, Kawhi Leonard is totally capable in any one-game setting of being the best player in this game. But I think when you look at the home court and you look at the fact that Jamal Murray looks like he's playing better, he had a great game 6 or game 5, and Jokic is Jokic, and they have the home court, I think that's going to be the deciding factor for me in this one. But at the end of the day, to be honest with you, the spread's 1.5, as you see up here. That's a toss-up game. Vegas is basically telling you that is a complete toss-up game. 1.5 is not a spread. In an NBA game, it's not going to be lower than that. So they don't know what this game could basically, they could throw the balls up 10 times and each team would win 5. So I think overall, here's what you're looking at. If you're the Clippers, okay? James Harden has struggled in game 7s in his career before. We know that. Whether it's with Philly, whether it's with Houston, he has struggled in game 7s. Well, this is a chance to kind of right those wrongs a little bit tonight. And this is a different James Harden I think we've seen this year. This James Harden is let's put it this way, right? The James Harden that we saw on Houston, obviously, on Philly, and even on the Nets, so not really the Nets because he was barely there and there was, it wasn't a real situation. But Philly and Houston, he was the guy, right? Even with Philly, they had Embiid, obviously, and he's the best player on the team, but Harden was still thought of as Harden. Excuse me. Now, Harden came to the Clippers with no real expectations. Everyone thought he was at the back end of his career. Everyone thought he was not James Harden of old, and he's just a James Harden who was going to facilitate a little bit, not be the same type of scorer as we've seen him be in the past. And this was a low-pressure situation. He was supposed to be more of a complementary piece when he got to the Clippers last year with Paul George and Kawhi, and obviously Kawhi missed a lot of time last year. Well, this year, Paul George leaves, still low expectations for Harden, not to be the guy, and he's kind of stepped up and had the best season he's had in a few years. And he looks like closer to the old James Harden than old James Harden, if you know what I'm saying. He looks closer to the James Harden in Philly or Houston than we probably thought he was going to be at this point of his career. And he still has Kawhi. He's got Powell. Right? Now, if you look back at game number 5, or game number 6, excuse me. Harden, 28 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, 10 of 20. That's the type of performance they need from him in game 7. And to me, the key to this entire game for the Clippers is going to be James Harden. Because James Harden now, he looks like a different person, right? You feel that energy from him because I don't think he feels that pressure he once did with the Houston Rockets, with the Sixers to come through every single time for his team. He's got more help now, and the expectations are lower. So I think for Harden mentally, this is kind of like, all right, no one expected me to be this good this year. I've been a top player, top 15 player in the NBA. And now I'm in game 7 against the Nuggets, where maybe he just goes out there and relaxes and he changes the narrative. Because that's what he has a chance to do. He's had a very good series so far. So to me, Harden playing the way, and he played 47 minutes, as you can see here in Game 6. And he said after the game, you heard him, he said, if I got to play 47, 48, overtime, I'm there. He knows this is important to him. He knows while he still has his sea legs left, while he still has juice in the tank, he wants to prove that he can come up big in playoff games. Well, this might be one of his last shots at it. And it's a very winnable game. These two teams are even. They're about as even as can be. As you can see there, they're both 50-win teams, both 50 and 32. They basically were mirror images. So can the Clippers get... They obviously need to get a big game from Kawhi. I think that goes without saying. Can they get James Harden to come up with a big performance in a Game 7, which he has struggled with in his career before? So, and they have legitimate, between Harden and Leonard, Powell's a terrific third scorer in an all-star caliber season this year. Zubac has had a very good year. Batum is a professional basketball player. Good defense, hit big shots, winning plays. He's a winning player. He's going to give you those things off the bench. Bogdanovich, can he get hot in this game for a few minutes? He's like the energy guy, the microwave off the bench. Can he go out and hit a few threes and swing the momentum of the game? That's what you're looking at, because the Clippers, what they have a deeper team than the Nuggets do. The Nuggets go to their bench. They don't play their bench very much. They're going to go Westbrook off the bench. That's basically it. Right? You know Jokic is going to be Jokic. Murray has got to play the game Jamal Murray had in Game 5. Terrific game. He played okay in Game 6. He played fine. But he's got to play. Jamal Murray's got to go out there and have 25 points in this game for the Nuggets. Gordon, I think you're going to get enough from him. You know what you're going to get from him. Michael Porter, who knows at this point? You could tell the coaching staff doesn't trust him. He's a guy that you have no idea what you're going to get. He was a minus 24 in Game 6, the worst plus minus by far of anyone on the team or anyone in the court. So Christian Brown's going to be fine. He's going to do what he does. The Nuggets need two things. They need Jamal Murray to be Jamal Murray, 25-point game, efficient shooting, big spurts of offense. That's what you need from Murray, and they need Westbrook to have a big game off the bench. Like he has in this series, and he played well in Game 6. They need Westbrook off the bench to play well and come up with big plays. So for the Clippers, it's going to be Harden. Game 7. Can he turn the tide in his Game 7 history? Harden is going to be the key for the Clippers. And then for the Nuggets, Jamal Murray, Russell Westbrook. Those are the two big players because they do not have the bench that the Clippers have. The Clippers can get a big performance from Batum. He can hit a few threes. They could get a big performance from Bogdanovich. They have options off the bench. Even Derek Jones is capable of hitting a few shots and making some big plays. They have capable players off the bench. The Nuggets do not. The Nuggets have Westbrook, and that's basically it. DeAndre Jordan, at this point of his career, is basically furniture out there. He's not going to be a factor. The Nuggets are going to play for their 5 starters 40-plus minutes in this game. That's what's going to happen. I think the Clippers overall, the better team, the deeper team. But the Nuggets have home court, and they have the best player. So I'm going to say the Nuggets squeeze out of Game 7. It'll be down. I think it's going to be down to the wire. I think you may even see overtime. I think it's going to be a very, very close game. But I think the Nuggets are going to squeeze it out, like they have in the past against the Clippers many a time. Now, so I'll take, and if I'm betting, I would take the Nuggets -1.5. Obviously, if I think they're going to win, you're going to take a -1.5. So I'm going to take the Nuggets -1.5. Now, on to Game 7 on Sunday. Warriors and Rockets. Now, the Warriors, to me, are in big trouble in this series. They had the series exactly where they wanted it. They were up 3-1. They stole the home court. They knew they were getting a chance to close it out in Game 6, even if they lost Game 5. Steph and Jimmy were cooking. The Rockets are young. They don't have the experience. They don't really have the leader on their team that's going to be, hey, follow me. I'm going to get you a bucket when we need it. I'm going to take this thing home. They don't have that guy. The Warriors had the series set up exactly the way they wanted to have it set up. But then something happened on the way to the Forum, as we say. The Rockets, and I would include Game 4 in this somewhat because I thought the Rockets played a very good Game 4 and really had a chance to steal that game. There was a few plays at the end. It could have gone the other way, and the Rockets would have been up 3, or would have been tied 2-2 going back home. They have played very, very well, and Udoka has schemed up a terrific game plan in these last 3 games especially. And Games 5 and 6 now, what they've done, the Rockets are the younger team, they're the more athletic team, they're the faster team, and they're the team with the fresher legs. And they have just worn down this old Golden State Warriors team. They've worn them down. And they haven't needed. The thing for the Rockets, I called the Rockets this year, they're a better version of them, but I called them Pistons West. And it's just funny that they have the 2 brothers, obviously one's on the Pistons, one's on the Rockets, but they're both very talented, very athletic young teams for the most part. But they don't have the closer on their team. And Cade's not there yet for the Pistons. He's not. You saw that in the Knicks series. And the Rockets especially. The Rockets have a bunch of good players who can score the ball, but they do not have an elite shot maker on their team. When you need a bucket in a close game, who do we go to that we need to get a basket? Well, you're going to probably say Sengun. That's probably their best option. But he is not an elite shot maker at this point. But what the Rockets have done the last 2 games, they haven't needed that. Because they've just ran and hide from the Warriors. They've gotten out and run in transition. They've played fast. They've played loose. And they've worn them down with their size inside. And Udoka has made a tremendous adjustment playing Steven Adams the amount of minutes that he's played him the last few games, especially Game 6. And they don't have an answer for him. Steven Adams looks like he's back in OKC 10 years ago. The Warriors do not have an answer playing Draymond Green at center with really no 4-man. Jimmy Butler's your 4. They don't have the size down there to stop the Rockets from dominating inside. So the Warriors are going to have to, in my opinion, completely change things up for Game 7. And you heard Kerr after the game, he said everything's on the table. Lineup changes, combinations, everything. And that's what you're going to have to see. Because they have now been dominated back-to-back games. And they look old and they look slow. And the fact of the matter is, the Warriors team right now is Steph and Jimmy and basically no one else. Steph and Jimmy are playing 42 to 44 minutes. They have the highest usage of anyone really in the playoffs. They're taking every shot, the play's running through them every time. They have no one else who they trust right now. Hield has been a disaster the last few games. Can't get going. Peyton is a good defensive player, but he's not consistent enough on offense. Moody is Moody. He's going to be fine. He's going to hit a couple shots, but you can't run any offense through him. The only guy they've been playing, Podminski, has been a guy, Pazensky, where he can give you 20 in any given game, but he hasn't been consistent doing that. And he did not play well in Game 6. He played a great Game 4, and that's why the Warriors pulled that game out. But if I'm the Warriors, you need to get some fresh legs onto the court because the Rockets right now are just running them off the floor and wearing the 2 big guys down. And when you're in your late 30s, like Draymond, Jimmy, and Steph are, they need help. They need guys that can give them fresh legs, give them that energy. They need it. I expect to see Kuminga in Game 7. And to me, he's the key. He's the key guy you could bring off the bench, and I'll tell you why. I expect you to see anyone, though. Santos, I think, because he can bring some energy off the bench. Can't score, but he does the dirty work. Can rebound. You may see Jackson Davis a little bit. But I think Kuminga is going to be big for the Warriors if they're going to win this game in Game 7, because here's one thing that he does. Now, they just lost faith in him because he's young. He thinks he's the best player on the team. He wants to be the best player on the team. He makes far too many dumb plays and mistakes at this point in his career for a coach who's trying to win a championship to trust him in a playoff series. That's been his issue. And Kerr's just lost faith, said we can't play this guy. And because he can't shoot from the outside, once they brought Jimmy in, the fit wasn't quite right. With Draymond and Jimmy and then him, it doesn't work that well. You don't spread the floor enough. But I'll tell you one thing. In this Game 7, anything goes. And he is the one player off the bench that's capable of going for 20 in a game, that's capable athletically of keeping up with Houston, that's capable of giving the type of energy and getting out in transition, getting some easy baskets, banging in the paint a little bit. He's the guy that's capable of doing that with the highest ceiling. So I think in a one-game setting, and that's what this is, throw the rest of the series out the window, folks. In a one-game setting, Kuminga could give you one good game. And they're going to need it. They're going to need it. And I expect him to be on the court tonight, or tomorrow, excuse me. So, I don't know what the combinations, what the lineups are going to be for Golden State. I don't know. But the Rockets have all the momentum right now. And the Warriors are going to have to find some answers and find them fast. Because this could get ugly in this game early if they don't right the ship from the start. I didn't think the Warriors played particularly well in Game 4. I thought, Podziemski really saved them. They played terribly in Game 5, but they were going to mail that game in ready for Game 6. And they did not play well in Game 6 either. They trailed most of that game. And then the fourth quarter was a disaster. They ran out of gas. Kuminga is going to be a factor in Game 7. Now, is that going to be enough? But he's going to be a factor. And I would expect them to get one of these big guys as well, Santos, Jackson Davis. I expect them to play some minutes as well with Draymond, in there to give them some more rebounding and some more physicality. Because the Rockets have just taken it to them. So from that standpoint, I think the Warriors in a heap of trouble. The Rockets have all the momentum, and they have a ton of confidence now. And the reason I thought the Warriors would win this series in 6, and that's why I picked them in 6, is because I didn't think the Rockets were ready for this yet. And they weren't. They showed you in the first 4 games they weren't ready, making dumb plays down the stretch. But you know what? The Warriors have given them the confidence now. And the Warriors, they figured out the antidote. Udoka's figured out the antidote. Wear the old guys down. Steven Adams inserted, playing 31 minutes last game. Played great in Game 4 too. And just wear him down, get out and run in transition every chance you have. Shoot early in the clock, move the ball, and make the old guys work. And they've done that to perfection the last 2 games. And the Warriors need to figure out how they're going to stop that. Because right now, it's like a cut that's open and the bleeding won't stop. And if they don't get to a doctor soon and get some stitches, this series is going to be over before you know it. And Game 7 is going to be over before you know it. So I expect to see the Warriors make major lineup changes tomorrow. Here's what they need, okay? Obviously, Steph is going to have a big game. We know that. His last 2 games, he has not played well. And even game 6 last night, he did some things in the third quarter, and then he just got ice cold in the fourth. He ran out of gas. They need him to have a big game. And when I say big game, he's going to have 35 plus on good shooting, not 9 of 23. That's not going to work. Jimmy's going to have to be Jimmy, and I think you're going to get that. Jimmy, the way he played tonight, he couldn't make a shot in the fourth quarter. But Jimmy, I think Jimmy 27, 9, and 8, if you get anywhere in that range, you're fine with that. Him and Steph have got to go off in this game. But on top of that, the key third scorer for them is going to be Kuzminski. He's got to play a good game. He has been up and down in this series, but when he's played well, they have won the game, right? Game 1, 14 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Win. Game 2, 0 points on 0-5 shooting. Loss. Game 3, he didn't play particularly well in game 3. But game 4, played a tremendous game. 26 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists was the difference in that game. Win. Last 2 games, 8 points and 10 points. Loss. He's going to have to play a good game. And when I say they need a third scorer to give them something, and he's going to be the guy to do it because he's the only one capable of doing that who's in the lineup right now. So I think he's got to go out there and give you 15. And I think Kuminga has got to be a factor off the bench in Game 7, and I think they're going to play him. They know they need him, and he's going to have to give you an offensive punch off the bench and an athleticism and a physicality that they have not had, and a youth. So that's the key for Golden State. For the Rockets, keep doing what you're doing. You figured it out. Run, wear him down, and Steven Adams, who they have no answer for him inside. He honestly, it looks like he turned back the clock 10 years. Van Vliet's been great the last few games after a rough start to the series. Sengun has been Sengun. He's like a rock. He's going to give you 20 and 10 every single night. And Jalen Green has been, he's been a very inconsistent player. And he has not had a great series, but they haven't needed him. If they get Van Vliet, Sengun, and then Amen Thompson to play a pretty good game, they don't need anything more than that because they're going to wear them down. Hit a few shots from Green. Brooks hits a shot or two. Jabari Smith hits a couple shots. Easton hits a couple shots. They got guys in waves. They play a strong 8 guys. Every player plays 15 minutes to get 15 plus minutes. That's not common. They're like the Clippers from that standpoint. So, if I'm the Rockets, I keep doing exactly what I'm doing. Play fast and loose and wear them down. And Udoka has done an excellent job the last couple games. Excellent job. And he's a terrific coach. So, can Kerr now answer? I thought Kerr should have gone to Kuminga in Game 6. Or gone to Santos or one of these guys in Game 6 once you saw where the game was going. He didn't do that. He elected to stick to his guns. I think it was a mistake. Will it be too late when he does it in Game 7? Because you heard him, he's going to do it in Game 7. But will it be too late? Did they blow the one opportunity they had to win this series in Game 6? Well, here's what I'm going to say, and here's my pick. Okay? Let's see what the spread is first. It's Rockets minus 2.5. I'm going to go Golden State plus 2.5, and I'm going to take Golden State to pull it out in Game 7. I think Steph's going to have a huge game. I think Kuminga's going to play a role. I expect Podminski to have a solid game. I think the Warriors are going to step up to the challenge like a championship team, and Steph and Jimmy are going to drag them to the finish line. And I think they pull this game out by the skin of their teeth. It's going to be an absolute bloodbath in Game 7. And I'll tell you, the ingredients, if the Rockets win this game, they're going to win by 10. If the Warriors win this game, it's going to come down to the wire. That's what the script is. So I got Nuggets minus 1.5 in Game 7 against the Clippers. And I got Warriors plus 2.5 in Game 7 against the Rockets. I picked the Warriors to win the series before. I'm sticking with it. That's it for this live on the Shot Clock. Game 7s. Who doesn't love the two best words in sports? Game 7. Unless you're an NFL fan, which we don't have a Game 7, but it's sudden death, which is still great. But two great Game 7s. Can't get better than this. Two great series. You got one tonight, one tomorrow. And then we'll preview the other series and we'll do recaps of these games as well when they're over. So tune into that. We'll be back tonight live after Clippers Nuggets to do a little recap of that Game 7. So come back this evening. We appreciate you. The Shot Clock is out. We'll see you later.